and Kenny here to say, pop culture fun in every way. Music, TV, movies, oh so bright. Join us for a blast tonight. Sister and brother rocking the flow, sharing all the things you need to know. Kathy and Kenny always in the mix. Pop culture fun fix to fix. Pop Culture Kids podcast crew. Tune in and let the topics move. Kathy and Kenny make it fun. Pop culture talk for everyone. Sit for everyone. I brought some for everyone. Pop Culture Kids podcast crew. Tune in and let the topics move. Kathy and Kenny make it fun. Pop culture talk for everyone.
Time for your weekly dose of pop culture with Kathy and Kenny, the Pop Culture Kids.
Welcome. We are back live on a Sunday night. It's Pop Culture Kids with your hosts, Kathy and Kenny, coming to you from the North and the South. Me from North Carolina, Kenny from South Jersey. What's up and how are you, my brother?
I am just doing all kind of peachy and dandy. Ducky. I just came from an event. You know, it's very in South Jersey. It's very nice out. It's a very nice day. The sun is out, and I had to take a drive to go to an event. And this was a perfect. I like the jazz band, the Bad Plus. If you've never heard the Bad Plus, please give a listen to it. They're a great band, but it was a great. I had Bad Plus Radio on my Spotify, and I'm listening to all this jazz. And I'm just driving through on a nice day. I went to a nice little poetry event where there was a lot of poets that I knew that were performing. Ambition the Poet, James Ellaby.
I really loved. I got to hear Ellerby, and I really enjoyed him.
Yeah, he's good. He did a piece I like, Miles Ahead, and it was hosted by the singer Deanna Gale, who's a phenomenal singer, and I have a video of her singing a Jill Scott song, and it was just a good afternoon. It was a good afternoon.
Oh, I love me some Jilly from Philly.
Yeah.
Well, it's good that you started the show talking about some of the poets that you've seen recently, because tonight we're kind of in a tradition, because we've done this, I think, for the last 4 years of our podcast. And in April, we always celebrate National Poetry Month. And since you perform all over South Jersey and have the pleasure of working with so many different people, we're going to have a couple special guests to hopefully spit some words, share some of their gifts with us as we talk about poetry and the things that move us. Before we get into pop culture news, let's just say hi to some of the people out there today. Hello and welcome to the stream. And of course, Cousin Lisa, always here. Appreciate you being here. And why isn't that let me add to the broadcast? You know what? I am, and of course Juanita Smalls is with us. I don't know what's going on. You know what? Ecamm is messing with me today.
Okay.
Ecamm is messing with me today. Why Ecamm messing with me today? I got on my Ecamm hat. I'm trying to be all Ecamm
Kathleen
fam.
Marie, Kathleen
Uh-huh.
Marie 4552. Thank you for joining us. Stick around. We got some great poets coming through. Juanita, you know half these poets coming through today. You know all these poets coming through today, actually. Lisa's good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. So
do we want to do a little pop culture news?
Rocco Lee's. Yeah. Let's go to pop culture news.
Okay. All right.
Let's go to pop culture news.
Oh wait, let's I'm sorry, we had more people coming in, and for some reason my comments are being all wonky. For some reason I can bring the
Rocco
comments in.
Lee's wants to say hi.
Rocco
Say
Lees.
hi.
Hey.
Hi, Rocco. Rocco Lee's. How you doing?
Okay.
So let's get
I'll
right
try
to pop culture news.
Pop culture news. Pop culture news. Pop it off with some pop culture news.
It's time for pop culture news with the pop culture kids, Kathy and Kenny.
All righty.
So-
In pop culture news, go ahead.
So we have the death of Africa Bambaataa, dies at age 61. I believe he had some health problems.
Oh wow.
And
That's
Africa
young.
Bambaataa was
From
yeah,
those of us who are
67.
61. Okay.
No, 67. I'm sorry, 67.
67. Okay.
Yeah. So
That's still too
Africa
young.
Bam- yeah, still too young. Still too young. Africa Bambaataa was one of the pioneers in hip hop, but also reading up about him, there's some allegations on him for some molestation charges and whatnot. But despite that, he is still an icon in hip hop. Africa Bambaataa, Soul Sonic Voice, the whole thing. So he's passed away. If you are a fan of Malcolm in the Middle, it's back on TV, and they're all older now, and the family's all together, and they're on Hulu. I never watched Malcolm in the Middle when it first came on. I'd seen some of the clips, but I've never actually watched. I kind of do. It looks kind of from the clips I've seen. It is kind of funny, so I can imagine how they are that they're older.
Yeah, I don't think I wasn't a Malcolm in the Middle fan. I might have seen an
Yeah.
episode or two, but I wasn't diehard. You know.
Yeah, no, I mean, now speaking of sitcoms, Who's the Boss star Danny Penturo
I thought it was Penatero.
is now delivering Amazon, saying that there's no shame in staying in motion, meaning that he was a child actor, and people. I don't know why people don't realize what acting is about. It's just like they tried to, pan the guy from Cosby because he was working at Trader Joe's.
Jeffrey Owens, I think
go
his
by the
name
job.
is.
Yeah, Jeffrey Owens. Yeah, these actors go by the jobs that they get, and sometimes they can't always get the jobs, and
Right.
they have to supplement their income in between. So if it means driving for Amazon or working behind the counter at Trader Joe's,
Do what you got to do.
do what you gotta do. Stop putting them on blast and saying, "Oh, how they haven't fallen," because they're not laying down. They're still moving. They're still doing stuff. They're still getting up. Stop it. Stop it.
Stop it.
Next we have Usher and Chris Brown are doing. Apparently, they did a concert together before. They did a concert tour before years ago, and they had a falling out. And I guess they kissed and made up. I don't know whether they went to Diddy parties or not, but they kissed and made up.
Ouch. Ooh, did they do it? Yeah. Okay, you know what? Leave the Diddy out of it. Don't
Leave
Diddy
Diddy out of
around.
it.
All right.
No Diddy, no doubt. So they're going to concert.
Now,
So the
what do you
women,
think? Do you think their concert will do better than the Salt and Pepper TLC in Vogue?
yes, hands
So
down,
you-
yes.
Oh, so you don't think the girls are going to bring it this summer?
I think the girls going to bring it, and I think they did a little. What they had iHeart Music or something like that. They did a little show,
Uh-huh.
and they all performed together, and it was really nice. But
Oh, okay.
I think with the climate of today and the backlash that Chili is getting,
That's going to hurt
I
them.
think that Chili might hurt them a little bit, especially since people like Salt and T-Boz are sticking up for Chili, saying, "Hey, and true."
But you know,
Let
yeah, it is
people-
America.
Let
People
people
can have their
represent who they want to
opinions.
represent.
Exactly.
Yeah, let people have their own opinions. Let them represent who they want to represent. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. You can't come to the cookout no more, but that's what you want to do.
You lose your invite to the cookout. All right, what else we got in news?
Pink is hosting the 2026 Tony Awards.
That's an interesting choice because I wouldn't consider
I thought so too.
I wouldn't consider her someone like has she done a Broadway show? No, so that's just odd. Not that the girl can't
You should-
sing and she can
Yeah.
hold her own, but I'm just surprised, that they would have Pink. But I ain't mad at it. I really
Pink?
like Pink. You know,
What about Pink? What about Pink playing Tina Marie?
I don't think so. I mean, she's good and all, but I don't know whether she could pull off Tina's soulfulness though. That's what's gonna be hard. I mean, she could sing it all right. I mean,
You
she's
don't
all
think
right,
Pink
but
about Tina Marie? All right, I'm just saying.
I don't know. I think you know what? I think voice wise, like I think Ariana Grande might be closer. Like I think, and she might have more of the acting chops because we don't even know if Pink can act. I mean, she
I'm
can
pretty
sing
sure
her
she
little
can.
heart out. She all right, but can she act? I don't know.
Hasn't she acted before?
For the Tina Marie biop, I probably have to have an unknown. I don't know. I need an unknown coming out of nowhere and just crushing it. That's just me. That's
Okay.
just what I want.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. That makes sense.
All right.
So now that we went through news,
Mhm. Oh wait, let's go to some of these comments because I didn't get to hit all the comments and we didn't get to say hi to our friend Rocco. So I wanted to say hi to Rocco Lees. Hi, and thanks for joining us on Pop Culture Kids. Appreciate you. And of course, Juanita in the house. We always appreciate her coming by. And I want to say hello to, is that Melvi Vanelli? Mel Vanelli?
yeah, Melvin Ellie, I guess. Yeah.
And Kathleen Marie said, they didn't diddy. I guess she's talking about Usher and Chris Brown. But we don't
didn't
know.
diddy.
Do we know?
We don't
Do we
know.
know for sure?
We don't know.
I'm
We
not
don't know.
And Juanita, I guess you're weighing in on my thing. Can Pink pull off Tina Marie? And thank you, Juanita. That's why she's my girl. No, I don't think she can. I don't think she can do it.
I'm looking at Pink's details now on.
See, these are the kind of comments I like. People who know
and
that.
she can act. She can act.
Who?
She has acted before. Let's say
Who?
Pink. She's done some
Pink?
acting before. Pink. Yeah.
Anyway, but we don't know if she could really pull it off. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. All right.
And
I'm just
Kathleen's with me.
I'm just throwing it out there. I'm throwing it out there.
I don't know. Well, we shall see. We shall see what they do. I don't know. Her daughter is supposed to be working on this biopic, and hopefully she'll cast someone who can pull it off. But before we,
I'd like to see who she gets to play with James.
She could get Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle.
But I guess people will take it seriously. But I don't know. Sometimes comedians make the best dramatic actors, so he might be able to pull it off.
Yeah.
Anyway, so one of the things we wanted to talk about during National Poetry Month, we wanted to bring on some special guests, and I'll let Kenny interview them. But before we do you remember what poetry you might have remembered or learned in school?
Emily Dickinson. I never saw a moor. I never saw a tree. Yet I know how the heather looks, what a wave must be. I never spoke to God or been to heaven. Yet I know the spot as if the spot was. Let I know the place as if the spot was given. So and then of course of course, Langston Hughes.
Uh-huh.
Um, um,
Was it Mother to Son or
well, Mother to Son, but the one who flows like a river.
okay.
I am,
Wow, you're better
so
than
yeah.
me. All I can remember is like the beginning of a Shakespearean sonnet, like two loves I have of comfort and despair, which like two spirits do suggest me still. The lesser spirit is a woman right fair, the worser spirit, a man colored ill. But
Well, at least you didn't do. At least you don't know the typical one, which is to be or not to be. That is the
well, that
question.
wasn't
Whether
really
it's
a
as
poem.
easy
That
to
was like
stop
a
the slings and arrows of
soliloquy.
outrageous fortune, or to take arms against the seal of trouble, and by opposing in them, to die, to
But
sleep perchance, to dream. Ah, there's the rube.
uh,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
but that wasn't really
I
a
go.
poem. That was part of a play, and that was
Yeah.
like really a soliloquy. But props to you. You know, you're Shakespeare, yada yada. Anyway, I'll let you talk a little bit about National Poetry Month and our guests.
So we have two guests. I have two guests coming in tonight. Two very special dudes, two brothers. They're not guests to me. They're my brothers. So one brother, very talented, extremely talented, brother I've known for years and has got me in trouble a lot of times, even last Saturday night. Lost child. And the other brother is a brother I've known for about a year and a half, Eric Crow Draven, who hosts an open mic in Penns Grove, New Jersey. And I just hung out with him last night. So these two guys are going to come through and we're going to have a conversation about poetry and how spoken word is important to the culture today, and how spoken word, how we're going through a lot in America and a lot in our lives, and spoken word is that outlet. And as poets, we are like the soothsayers that um come out and tell what's going on in the world. We say things that you might not have the words to say, or you might not can't say. That's our job. That's one of our jobs.
So, welcome to our guests. Welcome to Pop Culture Kids. And we are going to blow our guests up a little bit so we can see you guys.
Yeah, let's see what they look like. I mean, they're not the best looking guys in the world, but let's see what they look like. My brothers.
Kathy and Kenny in a say, pop culture fun in every way. Music, TV.
I'm sorry. That was all me. My bad.
Kathy's hitting wrong brothers button. But Lost, that was an interesting question that Kathy asked. What was the first poem that you remember that somebody else wrote?
I don't. I struggle with, I don't really consider myself a poet. I didn't really get into this until I was in my early 30s. And I didn't pay attention to stuff like that when I was younger. I never desired to be around poetry and open mics. And like, I think I was talking to somebody this past weekend, and I was saying how when the movie Love Jones came out, I dug the movie because it was just like a Black love story. I had to go back and watch it in recent years to look at it from the perspective of a poet and the open mic scene and all of that. Like I was nowhere, none of this resonated with me when I was younger. I think the only thing I remember reading in 7th grade was Lorraine Hansberry, I believe, Raisin in the Sun.
Okay.
It was just something that I read in class, but it wasn't anything particular, like historical. Like I said, I'm here in North with Amiri Baraka, and I still it didn't resonate with me until I was in it. But yeah, I wasn't that kid who always, I didn't write a journal. I didn't do any of that stuff.
Eric, what was the first you remember? What's the first poem that you heard that you remember?
Let me think about that one. When I was coming up, there was a couple of poems from Langston Hughes, of course, the Maya Angelou, Phenomenal Woman, that one. What's the other one? Till I Rise. So these poems I was familiar familiar with. Even my wife and I, while we were on the road earlier, Gil Scott Heron, Whitey on the Moon, like stuff like that.
Love
I
that.
heard when I was
Love
younger.
that. Love that. You know, what got me into performance poetry was listening to the Last Poets. My parents had an album, and one of the big things that you opened up and everything that they had back in the 70s, and
Hi-Fi Stereo.
they had the Last Poets album in there. And when my parents, I wasn't allowed to listen to it because I was like 10, but you know, when they weren't home, I would take it out and found out that, you know, niggas was scared of revolution. So that was, you know, I based a lot of my stuff on listening when I listened to the Last Poets. So I get it. Y'all got some fans in here. Lost Child and Eric Crow Draven. Peace to the space. Yes, these are very you know, I just came from an event that Deanna Gale was hosting. James Ellaby was there, Ambition was there, Trey G was there. And I this is the second time that I in 2 weeks that I went to an event just to support artists, and I wasn't reading. People looking at me like, are you reading it? No, I'm not reading. I'm here to support because I hung out with Lost Child last Saturday when he was featured to support. And you know, when me and Liam Lost Child get together, there's always problems and situations. I came up with a new nickname, Longfellow. I don't understand how that came about, but you know. How important? Don't start. Don't start. Don't start. Because how important are spoken word artists in today's time? Loss.
I think, like you said, I've found out in current years, in recent years, I've had a lot of the older generation say that when they hear me, it reminds them of the Last Poets. And at that point in time, I had never like purposely geared myself to that, because I was ignorant of who they were and what they meant to our society specifically. And I've since met some of the individuals and actually had conversations and realized like one of the things that Brother Abiodun had said in a conversation is that how when they came through, there was no internet, there was no social media, there was no record label that was willing to support what they were doing, but they became what we would call famous by word of mouth just through us, our neighborhoods, our societies. People heard it, say, yo, you got to go get this album, you got to hear what these brothers are saying. And it became a thing where at a time when I think possibly because if you look in that era, that's when the assassinations were happening left and right. They were knocking off our leaders left and right. And it was a point where people were afraid to speak. People were afraid to stand out. People were afraid to say what needed to be said at a certain point. So they became that next level of that voice that we needed in the 60s and 70s after King and Medgar Evers and Malcolm were assassinated. They became that voice in the streets when the streets were riddled with drugs and crime. They were that voice telling people that, yo, this is all a planned thing. We need to get together. We need to stay together. We need to stay focused. We need to stay on task because it isn't anything new and it's not going to stop. And you need to stay focused. So I definitely believe the arts is that underground voice that keeps things in perspective so people don't lose sight, especially now because the internet is what it is and people can get it's easy to feed the Kool-Aid to the masses through the internet now and have everybody believing some goofy stuff. So we need individuals, I'm not gonna say like myself, but individuals that are in this art form that we're in to stand their ground and stand 10 toes down, as they say, to tell the people the things that they need to hear.
Eric, what you have to add to that?
Nowadays, I think the voice of the poet is so important because everybody's being canceled for having their own opinion. Nobody wants to hear an opinion that's different than themselves. Poetry is one of the few places you can go where you are expecting to engage people who don't have the same voice. who don't have the same perspective, but they can bring it from a specific point of view that you may not even be thinking of. It may be a point of view that you can actually receive and be willing to have a conversation about it afterwards. Poetry is so important simply for the fact that without us, everybody is just following. Everybody else is just following. Oh, I don't like this guy because this guy is, and you don't know who's doing it for likes. You don't know who's doing it for hits, for clickbait. The voice of a poet is, for me, it's it's more than poetry. It's personal. So when you get somebody talking about how they feel personally, their individual perspective, and stand there with everything in their body and literally saying, if you get it, if you don't get it, this is my truth. I don't care if you like it. If you like it, cool. But if you don't, it's just not for you. The only other place where you could possibly do that was comedy. I don't know if you can still do that in comedy, but in poetry, you can still do it and it's accepted.
True that. I posted something on social media that got me a lot of hate from, I'm gonna try to be politically correct when I say this, got me a lot of hate from white liberals, but a lot of thumbs up from the Black community. And it got down to some of the white liberals calling me a Nazi. And that's what I'm saying. When you say things, because I feel it's our job is to say something to get people to think. Like you guys both said, outside the box. Otherwise, you're just following, and that's our job, to get people to look at a different perspective and just bring it out and think. What do you think, as spoken word artists, we should be focused on doing? What should we be focused on? What should we get the message that we want to get out there, or should we get a message that we think that people would want to hear or should hear?
I mean, me personally, I don't really have a thumb on what everybody's thinking. I don't really know what everybody's feeling. I know what I'm seeing in the world around me and how it affects me, and I speak from that perspective. And I don't really concern myself with those who don't get it or those who don't understand it, because again, like you said, if I say something and it don't hit you, it wasn't meant for you. Or if I say something and it offends you, maybe you on the wrong side of this thing. But I speak from my truest perspective, and I don't really see myself as one that's holding it down for the people or whatever. Like, nah, because even amongst us, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. So it's hard to speak for the people when all the people don't even want the same thing. I would say we all need to unplug and come together and build communities, regardless of whether we're blood related or not. And we all move, buy some land. Everybody got a chunk of piece, and we're neighbors with ourselves. So we all want to get out the hood. Don't nobody want to live in the projects no more. But when we try to move out to the suburbs and we move into Mr. Gyllenhaal, they don't want us there as their neighbor. So now we got to deal with that nonsense. It's just as bad as living in the hood with the killers and the drug dealers. So we got enough of us that want to come together. But then you find out that everybody that talk all of this, oh, we need to do something, talk. But then when it comes time to actually collectively getting together, doing something, ain't nobody willing to make that move. So I've lost faith, honestly, in my people, because it's a lot of talk, but don't nobody really want to put their money where their mouth is. So I try not to speak for my people. I speak for myself. And for those who rock with me and it touches people, then we can sit down and have a conversation or whatever the case may be. But speaking for the people, I believe in if everything, I guess you can call me a conspiracy theorist of sorts. But a lot of these past conspiracy theories have been proven true in this recent last few years. But I believe if everything hit the fan, we're gonna lose more people than we gonna save. because so many people are so lost in the sauce and so deep in the muck and mire, they don't even know how to get out of it to collectively get with anybody else. If the electricity and everything shut down today, whether it's from a natural disaster or something that the government does or something that some other entity does, it's people are going to be so lost in the sauce, they're going to be chopping each other's heads before they get a chance to collectively get together to do anything as a community. So I mean, it's hard to speak from what I think the community or what I can do for the community, because I've honestly lost faith in the community as a whole.
I tell you, Lost Chat. I tell you, bro. I appreciate you every time I see you and I hear you. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, I was done. I'm good.
No, you didn't.
For me,
Go ahead.
nope, that's the second time I did it. I'm stopping. I'll wait till you tell me to go.
No, go ahead. I'm telling you to go.
You know, poetry, I'll say like this. I can only talk from a personal perspective now. When I was younger and trying to get my writing chops up, whatever it is that came to mind, what the community was going through, what was on the news, you know, I would write about it. It was my feelings about it. But I was writing it because it was the hot topic, not because, oh, in this moment right now, I feel so passionately about this that I have to say something from my perspective. It was more like, oh, this is what's going on right now. Let me pin something. Let me see how this comes out, because I was a different kind of artist in the beginning. At this age, and with my time being a poet, it's personal. And because it's personal, I can only write from that perspective. And like Lost Child said, all skin folk and kinfolk. So we may have the same complexion or, have the same background, but our points of view are not always the same. And I think that's part of the problem, that we think just because a person looks like us, that they're going to have the same point of view, or they're going to have our back, or they're going to automatically agree. We don't all have the same background. We don't all come from the same place. And the one thing that we have in common is often used to divide us. Oh, you're light skinned. You wear glasses. That means you can't see. Whatever the stupid reason is to create division. So, as a poet, for me, it's funny because I don't even call myself a poet. I'm a person who likes using words, and I often talk too much. But I think I enjoy the process of using writing as a release. And I doubt everyone will share my view. But for those who can, we'll have that in common. And that thing, we can move forward on that thing. But thinking that as a whole, everyone is going to move forward with everything that I think, I don't think that at all. And there's going to be criticism no matter what I say, no matter what I do as an artist. So I expect it. But these days it's personal.
Eric, real quick, off the beaten track here. I know you're probably driving in your car, but I want you to turn the camera to your passenger side so we can see your beautiful wife, Abike, who you can't do nothing without, and who's your rock, who holds you up.
First and foremost, as soon as you said it, my wife said no. And I don't Lola, I don't know about you. Lola, I don't know about you, but being slapped while I'm driving, it's not a good thing.
Abike, that's Abike, ladies and gentlemen. Say hi to her. She is Eric's beautiful wife.
That's my wife.
She has a shop in Penns Grove, Mississippi vintage, which is an awesome shot. shop. You can also get some Pop Culture Kids shirts at her shop, and she has some great oils and moisturizers and different things that she makes in that shop that is so great. I love her cologne she has for Egypt, and I have Breath and Bow Tie also that Eric made. So I wore that today.
Okay.
I get more response from the women when I wear Egypt though. I'm just saying. I'm
Of
just saying.
course. Of course.
I'm just
Of
saying.
course.
That's the way it
She
is.
has the magic
Now,
touch.
I have with me two poets in the South Jersey area. And these are two poets where when we go to spoken word events, I usually have to go first because I don't want to follow these brothers. That's how good they are. Because it's one of them things. If I had to follow them, it's gonna be anticlimactic for the audience. I'm a good poet. However, these guys are about to show you why they are the bomb. So I'm gonna let Lost Child take the screen and do a piece for us. And I hope he does the one I like. With the chickens, loose from the coop.
Okay, all right. That makes it easier for me because I sure didn't figure out what I was gonna do before I got here. I thought I came
Okay,
to
good.
talk, but that helps me figure something out because I was sitting here scrambling. As you said it, that's why I was reaching, grabbing my phone,
You
like,
ain't got
ooh,
to
let me
scramble.
scroll.
See how he does that? He didn't even tell us we was gonna spit. He just like, oh yeah, by the way, you on here, say something.
Hi. Look, one time I went to an event that was a showcase event that I wasn't supposed to read at, and Ambition was the showcase like spotlight. And I walked in to support, and I gave my money and everything. And Ambition goes, "Well, Kenny, we can't just have you sit here and not spit. Like that makes no sense." So you guys, I'm not coming like I don't know how Eric, I don't know how you thought I wasn't gonna tell you to spit. I don't understand. I don't understand how you didn't know the assignment. I'm a little confused. Lost Child, take it away. Kathy, give us a screen, please.
It was a conversation we were having. That's what I was told. I came for the conversation. But to move on, I think I'm doing the right one. If not, you're gonna tell me afterwards, I guess. But I flipped this one directly from the ebook of scripture. Spit these lyrics so when they hear it, it'll make bitches just want to get with you. But if you're a man who stands on morals and principles, you could easily fuck them over, but you won't because that's not what real men do. You treat them like queens, even if they've never seen this version of themselves from within. Then you direct them towards respecting themselves first and foremost in all situations with family, foes, and friends. And maybe then they will begin to see that a bitch wasn't even ever part of their character, but actually something that was imposed upon those that were never supposed to be able to read, supersede the misbelief that we were only 3/5 human beings. Now through these poems, I expose to these same folks that we are still kings and queens and we're to accept absolutely nothing to fuck less, especially from American Europeans, because the freedom rings our bodies swing from poplar trees throughout the South, and we gonna swing and bring them things till all these crackers get ran out. Because I've heard it told that until the lion begins to tell its own story, that the hunter will always be depicted as the hero. Well, I've got my pen, I've got my pad that inks the blood from all my people that were slain by the same man who still maintains that we're not his equal. Like, come on, man. Let's talk facts for a few seconds. Or better yet, let me ask a few questions like, who are the real killers? Who are the real animals? And who are the American homegrown domestic terrorists? Like, how many times in the history of this country have you seen photographs from back in the day still being circulated to this day of a bunch of brothers standing together, arm in arm, shoulder to shoulder, chest to chest, smiling, proud, oftentimes having their wives and children in these photographs while a white man hung from a tree in front of them? And not only did they Not only did they take these pictures, but then they turned them over on the backside and they write notes and addresses and they mailed them out to friends and family, bragging, talking about, look what we did last weekend. Or how many times in the history of this country have you heard of a news report of a bunch of brothers standing together on the corner Friday night, Saturday night, drinking, smoking, whatever the case, when we hang out or whatever the case may be, and a white dude went walking by and they was like, let's get him. Not only did they beat this dude up, but then they took a chain and they wrapped it around his ankles. And then they took the other end of that chain and they wrapped it around a bumper. They pick him up truck and they drug his ass to town until his head popped off and ended up in a ditch on one side of the road and his body on the other side of the road. How many times in the history of this country have you ever heard of any of the so-called black radical factions like the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense? And please, when you address the party, address it by its entire name, Black Panther Party for Self-Defense. See, they like to leave that last part off because then they try to make it seem like it's such a negative organization. But let's say you want to call it a negative organization. Okay, cool. It's a negative reaction to a negative action that needed to be addressed just as much back then as it still needs to be addressed today. But how do you acknowledge the negative reaction without acknowledging the negative action that the reaction is reacting to? Because if the action didn't exist, then neither would the reaction. So how do you see one without the other? But I digress. And Black Panther Party for Self-Defense, or the Nation of Islam, or any other so-called black radical faction, gathering themselves together early on a Sunday morning, going up to white suburban America, planting bombs in their churches, knowing good and damn well on Sunday morning people are coming to church, ultimately ending up killing 4 little beautiful innocent white baby girls. I'm asking you, how many times in the history of this country have you ever heard of any of this shit happening? But it don't take a whole lot of thinking or Googling on your phone to realize that if you turn all them situations around the other way, that it's happened again and again and again and again and again from way back when. Some of it's still happening again today. So again, I have no choice but to ask, who are the real killers? Who are the real animals? Who are the American homegrown domestic terrorists? Let me tell you, it's them original gangsters and reds and blues on a white flag that they still represent. See, this ain't no lies, no cap, no fairy tales, no figments of my imagination. And before I die, I would like to see black lives truly matter to those within this nation. But honestly, my faith ain't that great to believe that these savages can be civilized. So until the philosophy that holds one race superior and another inferior is finally and permanently discredited and abandoned, well, everywhere is war, until the color of a man's skin is of no more significance than the color of his eyes. I've got to say war. Until that day, we will continue to be on the receiving end of all this racial nonsense here in this here country. Until then, we shall be on the up and up, and we need to make sure our children and our grandchildren never forget that. Peace.
Whoa.
All right.
Whoa. That was all the snaps.
That was all the snaps. That was all the snaps. My man Lost Child, tearing it up, man. Tearing it up. Tearing it up.
I can beat my horn.
Don't beat my horn. Are you on the turnpike?
I am.
Okay.
I am.
So you can't spit for us since you're on the turnpike.
Oh, I got something for you. I could do
Okay.
something. My wife was just saying the same thing. She was like, "You on the turnpike? How you gonna do this? Pull over." I'm like, "Man, it's dangerous out here. We can't pull over on the turnpike."
Let's talk about it.
All right, we're gonna go here with this one. I know that you hate me because I've been distant lately, but it feels like they're trying to replace me. So I've been running with God, and He's been trying to pace me, redirect and embrace me. I'm still afraid of getting caught when my demons chase me. So bitter, only these streets can taste me. My words like holy water, don't you waste me. I hustle with no strings to wait, populace me. Man to man is the way you face me. Grateful for every day that my daughters grace me. My rights, breathe life, you can never erase me. I draw like Stan Lee until I'm dead and they trace me. Hurt you like that purple and leave you hazy. Birth you and unearth you, and it's crazy. I rose in concrete the way Upland raised me. I'm so Shakur. None of these people can phase me. You see, I am unconsciously poverty's puppet. Potential addicts, fertilization. Chromosomes laced with weed, white Irish rose, and impatience until this day still can't wait. My turn. In my youth, I've utilized illegals at all angles. I've bought, I've used, I've sold. Gun habits, I aim behind their triggers and dodge in front of their barrels. Promiscuous, panty raider, and paper chaser. So for the right price, you can get touched too. A kind fool, degrees in being schooled. Friends will be your closest enemies on top of whatever's in me. So I was taught to love thy thug above thyself. Manhood is measured in defiance, satisfying women in the latest and most expensive thing you can get your hand on. Taken sounds better than given, for it can be misinterpreted as earned. The easiest way out renders the hardest consequences I've learned. You see, pain and sorrow, they float well in hallucinogens. That's why we often feel so good when we feel so bad. And I can't help but feeling so mad. You see, my traveling shoes have walked the unpaved path. Dying from trying to succeed yesterday is the only reason why today is possible. People who stand still do not realize the world has not stopped moving. You see, I've been watching you. As a man, hatred is a learned emotion in life course. Your scars and memories are your only receipts. The only reason why I believe in a higher power is because I've been given proof. The moment I opened up my pores, it became easier to sweat the truth. Though it hurts, though you can't see him, there's this guy behind me I like to call the system. When I was young, I was dumb, and I wanted to be just like those black boys. But you gotta be careful because you transform when you are on the block with those boys. So I did whatever it took to gain my name, to lose what my mama called me, get my street name up. I became so popular to the point where even the cops knew who I was when they put the handcuffs on me. Imagine trading in your name for some shiny bracelets and the opportunity to spend the rest of your life behind bars. And when you in that status, all those thoughts of thinking that you are the greatest are gone. You're in a cell, depend on where you at, hoping somebody sends some money so you can get some food, some commissary, so you can survive. All the while you do your time and do what you need to do to get out. By the time you come home, you moving right back into your mama's house. And if your bed's no longer available, that means you sleeping on your mama's couch. All for a name. Then your people come to visit you. Welcome home to what? So every time you fill out an application, you have to tell the truth if you are a convicted felon. Because if you don't, 2 weeks later, you may have had a job, but that money has now been stripped. So you can go ahead, you can be aloof and do anything that you want to do to be in those streets with those black boys, to get your name up. Then you can trade them in for a pretty pair of handcuffs and some time that you'll never get back. And you can wind up just like me, with this guy behind you. I like to call him the system. You'll be reduced to being nothing more than a puppet. Eric Crow Drake.
See, when I bring people to the mic, I bring fire. Nothing but fire. So, I think when we go to different events, the three of us are considered the old heads of the event. And me and Lost Y'all got told that a couple of years ago. We were told we were the old heads. And we looking around like they said, thanks to the old heads for coming out. We looking around like, who they got? Oh, they talking about us. So, what do you guys see the future? We see a lot of young poets come up and come out. What do you guys see as the future for spoken word?
I think it's amazing. I think it was the weekend Saturday before last at the Cry Out Cave here in Newark, New Jersey. We do a teen open mic every second Saturday, and I always come through for the teen events because I love to see what the future is bringing. And there's some 13 to 15-year-olds that are talking truth that is just so unabashed. It's so they haven't gotten to the point where they got to watch what they say because they're not sure how people are going to receive it. They just speak, and they're speaking from just seeing the brokenness in society around them, and they're pleading with the world to that we got to do something. Just to hear a 13-year-old say that, like, I think they're definitely picking up the torch, and they're carrying it on. And I think that's one of the things that the arts in general, poetry, visual arts, photography, that these young kids who start off that young in it, regardless of whether it's because their parents were in it first or somehow they got involved or however, it's light at the end of the tunnel. So I definitely support the young ones because I think they're definitely holding it down, and they're keeping it where it needs to be. It's not like it's definitely not going to be a lost art, at least not in this next generation that I see coming behind us.
Eric, as someone who hosts open mics, what do you see?
Well, I agree with Lost Child. It's funny. I'm excited because there's so many things. I'm not young. I'm not a YN. And so their limitations are theirs to create. Just like someone like me, people look at me and be like, oh, he's done a few things, he's been to a few places, and already be counted out. Can't count anyone out. Got to give them the opportunity, give those young people the opportunity to really explore poetry, but to take it to different places. That's one of the things. That's one of the things is literally my focus. Still, even though I'm definitely not in the younger category, but it's not over for me. So because it's not over for me, my personal views, there's a lot of things I have yet to experience with poetry. And, just because I did ESPN and performed during Michael Jordan's last All-Star game, that was over 20-something years ago. Like, me even saying that, somebody going to be like, oh, wow, he did that, but that was 20-something years ago. For me to be the first poet to do that, there's so much more ground for us to make. For me to be one of the first poets, literally, that I know of, the first poet to do a documentary on poetry and have actual poets in the first public viewing of a cipher ever, there's still more places to go for poetry. This is something that poets now do, and every time I look at it, I'm just smiling. I'm not saying I invented it, but I am saying I'm the first one to do it and document it. So there's so much more room. I mean, literally, what month was that, babe? Was it February? February. This February. Black History Month. I was the first poet to literally take an entire poetry album and turn it into a movie and have it played in the movie theater. So it's like, if I'm still my age, because I'm still the same age from February.
Yeah, I was.
That's something I just did.
That was a nice showing. I was there.
But
that was a real nice showing.
Hey, and I appreciate you being there, my brother. But I just did that at this current age. So there's still more ground. There's still things that the young people can do to surpass what we already done, and I'm excited about it.
I think I'm older than both of you, and I am still doing new stuff too. So it's a cycle. I'm pretty sure I'm older than both of you. So don't. I know it. Look, man, Lost. Don't start. Don't start. Eric, we gotta talk about how Lost almost got me in trouble last Saturday. All right, because the man ain't right. The man ain't right.
And I'm trying to help you get better. I'm trying to broaden your horizon.
Longfellow, right? That's
Longfellow.
You called
yes.
him Longfellow, right?
That's a whole story altogether, man. Anyway, moving on. I'm going to spit one real quick, Kathy. Do we have time for me to spit one real quick?
You have time.
Okay, Kathy, do you want to ask the poets anything?
No, I'm good. You're doing an excellent job.
Because the poet, they like you just as much as they like me, man. Come on. PK's always talking about you. Come on.
I'm just hanging in the background. I'm just producing tonight.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. This is called. I just wrote this. I did this at a open mic event last night, and I did an open mic event Friday night, and I'm getting my chops used to doing this, so bear with me. But this is called "Divided." The saying goes, "United we stand, divided we fall." But we are divided and falling at a rate so fast your head will spin. There's dissension in the ranks, and there's nowhere to turn but on each other, and that's how they keep us divided. Like individual slices of cheese, American cheese, the great value kind. Like the way you would keep the spoon, forks, and knives in your kitchen drawer, like a bookmarker splitting the pages you've already read and the ones you have yet to read, like sitting in your office cubicle surrounded by a desk maze that keeps us divided. By politicians and pedophiles, in most cases, one of the same lies are deep as each blame the other party for the government's shortcomings while they all take APAC money, not working for the people, but the ones who want to control the people, smiling at us like they upstanding citizens, but that's okay. Because whichever party wins, it's just two sides of the same coin. Heads, tails, separated by rigid edges, keeping them divided. Those on the left, those on the right, parted like Moses parted the Red Sea. Bible verses known, but by both sides, just not put into practice the hypocrisy. And I'm trying to find the verse in the Bible that advocates for hate that only keeps us divided. White power, black power, everybody fighting for control, but neither side having any real power. Just fight. Fight who they tell you to fight, hate who they tell you to hate. The only way they make money is if we stay divided. As I'm adding up the historical facts, I'm subtracting the false data, multiplied by the amount of people affected, infected, and subjugated. And I realize the whole equation doesn't work unless we stay divided. In a place that was made to separate church and state, but they made their religion their politics. They made their politics their religion. You should not question. Questions need answers. And if they give you the real answer, then they can't keep you divided. Zionists are the Nazis. Nazis are the American white supremacists. White supremacists are now called MAGA, sporting red hats turned around to mean hatred, but they only show the front saying they want to make America great again. But it's only for them because it was never great, not for everyone. Because if it was great, then they wouldn't have to keep us divided. And I'm over here playing Bob Dylan on my stereo. I'm quoting Dr. King saying, "We joining hands, saying free at last, free at last." And I'm citing history, reminding you of the past mistakes made by governments, but you don't listen because you're too busy being divided. Like the verses in this poem, divided. Like when the North fought the South, divided, to keep those complacent with genocide and those screaming murder, those turning their heads and those protesting with signs, protests that look like parties with concerts and costumes. But the elite don't care what you do because the plan is in place, full steam ahead. See, all they have to do is keep us divided. That's it. That's the piece. Where's everybody?
I'm sorry.
Woo-woo!
I'm bringing them back. Give me a minute. I was into it. I'm listening and paying attention, and I'm like, and I lost track. Okay, I think we lost y'all.
No, I'm still here.
Oh, you're still here? Okay, I'm sorry. All right, there we go. All right, let's get it
Hello.
together. I got it.
I want to thank our guest, Lost Child. Lost Child is a very gifted poet. When I first met Lost Child, I couldn't understand a word he was saying. And over the years that we've known each other, I think probably like 5-7 years that we've known each other, we've become really good friends where we hang together, we laugh together, we have such a good time. He's so gifted and so talented and one of the most down to earth brothers that I know. And not only is he a
Sure.
poet in the culture, but he's also a supporter of the culture. And that's something that's
Yeah.
a lot of people don't do. Like he will do what I did today. And I got this from him. He will go to a poetry event that he's not reading at just to support the people that are there that he knows is reading and that he knows that's
Yep.
like, you know, just like you said, he went to the teen event just to see what was going on with the teens, and that's showing support. And that's what we need in our culture, in our community, is people showing support for the artist. What you do, whenever art you do, people need that support. I was talking to somebody the other day about it, and they were saying how, you know, my family and friends don't come. No, you can't go to your family and friends to come to your events. You have to go outside of that to get the people to like what you do for the support. Eric Draven hosts an open mic that has brought so many people together. So many people love this open mic, and he does so many things. Eric's the kind of person who will put you down. He's that guy. And that's also what we need in our community, people who put you down, because we have to look out for each other as artists in the community. We have to help each other out, look out for each other. If somebody asks me something about, there was a poet at the event I just came from who called me like a mentor type person because I was older than her. And I would, you know, she's like, Kenny Walker's the first one who gave me my first feature. And I'm like, and I get that a lot because I've been hosting for a long time. People say, oh, Kenny was the first guy that gave me a feature. And Kenny was the first person. I'm like, yeah, I don't, you know, we do that. Eric does that. And Lost Child gives us support. We do that out of the love for the culture and the love of our hearts. We don't do that to get anything back from. We don't do it for the recognition. We don't do it for money. We don't do it for none of that. We do it for the culture and to support art.
Okay. And then
I
speaking of supporting art, I appreciate both of you gentlemen for coming on. I think we've all been blessed by the word that you got a chance to spit, and we are just so thankful that you
Lost
took some
Child's got a
time out
shirt
of your
on.
Sunday. Oh my!
Lost
Oh,
Child's got a shirt on. He's got a Pop Culture Kids
represent.
shirt.
Nice.
I
I
got
love
the
it.
white one.
Love it. Love it. Love
I,
it. Love it.
I just want to say this. I just want to say that Lost Child absolutely is a huge supporter. First time I met him, he came out to my wife's boutique, Mississippi Vintage, and literally was like, "Oh, it's oil. Let me smell that. Yeah, I need that. Oh, what's this over here? Yeah, I need that too." We haven't had more than 5 words with each other, but he was like, "I need this. I need that." He just came in and automatically was like, "I'm supporting. This is who I am. This is how I rock." Kenny, the first time I
I'm
met
a,
Kenny in, in person, that he literally came out and he was just like, "Oh, I see what you're doing. I'm gonna bring my speakers next week just in case you need help or something's not right with your audio." He basically did that for almost a full year at my event, the open mic. So I'm just blessed to be surrounded by people who not only remember me, but who are good, not just to me, but also good to other people. So I say this all the time at the open mic. We are a community, and it's a true community because it's not limited to the genre, but it explodes because of the genre.
I'm gonna tell you something about Lost Child, Eric, that he told me that that not a lot of people know that you tell that story. He purposely brings cash with him
Oh,
to events. He purposely brings cash with him to events so he can support vendors or wherever he's going, so he can just spend money wherever he's going. He purposely does that.
yeah, I honestly
That's
believe it's what is. I don't know why Fubu went out of business because I think they had the perfect brand moniker, like for us, by us. Like if we don't do it for us, won't nobody else. And the young people need to see us doing it. Like, yo, when I come to events, I got on the shirts from the venue. I'm walking around with the stuff on so people can see we are supporting each other. Because like not to mention any other groups, but everybody else does it. We're the only ones that don't do it. So we have to start making that change. And the saying goes, I forget exactly who it's attributed to, but be the change that you wish to see.
Mhm.
Um, So I do that, and I try to live my words, not just talking.
That's powerful. That's powerful. Again, gentlemen, I don't want to keep you or past our hour, but we just appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. We are blessed to have you. Thank you.
Thank you, fellas. I really appreciate you guys coming through. I really appreciate that. This is a great show. This is a great conversation. I really appreciate it. Next week, we will be talking. Hey, BK, what you want to talk about next week? Oh, because she gave us a good idea last time. She gave an idea. It was a good idea she gave.
First of all, don't play with me, because I was saying to someone today, I'm like, you know how they do the Where Are They Now? Let's talk about their real lives, how so opposite of the characters they played they really are. Like that doctor that we saw on television is now crackhead. You know, that priest is now pedophile. Like that's where they really are now.
Where are they really now? I like that.
Where they really are now. Actually, that's a point, because the guy who played the principal on Ferris Bueller is not allowed around kids anymore at all.
That's true. You know what?
He couldn't be a principal.
Before we leave, I just wanted to remind people of where they can kind of check us out at kathyandkenny.com. Thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you so much to our special guests. And please, if you're stopping by on our YouTube channel, Pop Culture Kids, maybe you're catching this on my channel, K-Walk Comedy, please consider a subscribe or giving us a thumbs up. We would really appreciate it. Just appreciate you guys hanging out. I didn't get that in earlier at the halfway mark, so I figured I'd throw it in
sorry.
at the end.
I totally
No
forgot
worries.
about it. We were having deep in the conversation and everything.
Hey, it was so good. I didn't want to mess with it. So next week is where they really are now. But I'm just, I don't know. Well, who knows? Maybe we'll go there. We'll go there.
Maybe we'll
and
go
we won't
there.
use
We'll see.
AI
We'll
to
talk
do
about
that. All right. But in
Yeah.
any case, as always, in parting, we wish you love, peace, and pop culture. See you guys next week. Thanks so much for joining
God bless
us.
your soul and keep living. Peace.
Kathy and Kenny in a say, pop culture fun in every way. Music, TV, movies.
Thank you for geeking out with Kathy and Kenny on Kathy and Kenny Explain Pop Culture.
Sister and brother rocking the flow, sharing all the things you need to know. Kathy and Kenny always in the mix. Pop culture fun fix to fix. Pop Culture Kids podcast crew, tune in and let the topics move. Kathy and Kenny make it fun. Pop culture talk.